which might encourage him to pull guard, which is not what I want, because I want the throw. So I'm gonna pressure in. When I feel him pushing nice and hard, I take a step, I pull, my elbow's already up, right? To clear it out of the way, to get him close. My elbow came up. All I do now is back step. Here, push. And he goes right over. Right, so what I want to start with today is I was going to go over some kuzushi. Kuzushi is the idea, oh thanks Tyler, is the idea of like off balancing our opponent, right? So Tyler, if I can borrow you for a second. We've talked about this a lot where our partner's in a neutral position, and then we know that the space between leads to this tip of the triangle where his center of gravity is going to fall towards if I pull him, right? We've talked about that a lot. What I haven't done a good job yet is understanding how to manipulate this. So when we get our first grip and we go for that index finger onto the collarbone, here now this sleeve grip gives, or the lapel grip gives me the opportunity to pull him forward, push him backwards, and manipulate him side to side. What we need to figure out is how do we get him to move, because if we're in a competition, he's probably not going to allow me to just pull him, right? He's gonna anchor himself into the ground, and then as he gives me resistance and I try to pull, go and pull back as I pull forward, right? It's hard to get him to move. So instead, sometimes it's easier if I push him. If I push him, now he's falling back, he's gonna come forward. So this is one way that I like to do it, is I like to come in, right? We get our grip, and I just push backwards. As I push backwards, his reaction is gonna be to come forward, to regain his balance, and that's when I can take advantage of the fact that he's moving. The other thing is, a lot of times we've grip fought our way through, both people end up with their sleeve and their collar grip, so it's a 50-50 situation. And then he's pushing into me because I'm pushing into him. And we just get this push into each other mentality. So if he leans forward more, right, and we've got this like triangle, right? We've got this like pyramid of pressure, if you will, right here. So really at this point, all I have to do is just get out of the way and he falls forward, right? Seems like a simple concept, but if you haven't put it into use with your partner, like it kind of eludes you. So both of you start in a neutral position and then just lean, like really lean into each other. The more that I push into him, the more he has to push into me. And then at some point, right, we'll just separate and he goes forward. So how I do this in judo is if we get to this 50-50, here I have good pistol grip and I'm putting pressure and I've got my good sleeve and collar grip. So I'm just gonna push into my partner. As he pushes back into me, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get separation from my, what they call surite, my lapel hand here. So as he pushes into me, all I have to do, I don't have to move, I just open that lapel hand and his weight comes forward, right? So all I'm doing is putting pressure right on that collarbone. I've got good tension here, and then when I'm ready, I just move the hand out of the way and he falls into me. So instead of me having to pull my partner this way, all I'm doing is applying tension until I feel that I've got good pushback from him. Yeah, we're in that nice struggle. Then I just open my hand. Once I open the hand and he starts to come forward, now's my time, right? And we're gonna go with that back step Uchimata today just because it's simple, okay? So real quick, probably, I don't know, a handful of times each, just lean into each other and then move and then start to get an idea of what that separation of that sleeve or the collar grip means, okay? Ready, 1, 2, 3. Thanks, man. So now that we have like the basic understanding of what we're doing, now we apply it to what we already know. So we've gone over this back step Uchimata before, right? So a lot of times what we've done, we've gotten our pistol grip, we pull into the top of the triangle. Once we get their body shifted, we just take that big back step, elbow up, so that we can punch their head to the ground, and then we just lift the leg. So instead of all of that, which the pull the triangle is still gonna work, you're still gonna be able to off balance your partner, you're still gonna be able to bring their head forward, all that. Instead, if we get stuck here where we have a very defensive opponent, they're not moving, they're very anchored down, right? We've tried to like move back, we've tried to move to the side, and everything we do, they just follow us and they just end up in the same position. We can't get a positional advantage. So then all we're gonna do is we're just gonna apply tension, we're gonna push into them so they push into us, that's it. Now, as I separate my hand and they fall forward, now's my time to backstep. So as I release this hand, I backstep into it. So this is the part that takes a little bit of coordination, much more coordination than pulling to the top of the triangle. But we're in, I got the good balance, got a battle going here. I separate my hand and I step back. See how far his head is over now? I just keep pushing, pull the sleeve, lift the leg. And he's gonna go right over. But it's that pressure release timing thing that we have to drill. So, like Uke just gave me, was really good pressure, really good reaction so that I can feel when it's time to go. In all actuality, it may not be that much pressure, but it's really good to drill with an over-exaggerated sense of movement so that you can understand the timing. So as I push, he's gonna drive into me. I'm gonna separate that hand as I backstep. So the hand comes off, I backstep. Elbow up, push down, drive over. Then he falls through, okay? So in real time, like if you really do this, I'm not gonna throw, I'm just gonna step to the side. But so in real time, we're here, we got the good pressure here, tension, he's leaning into me, I separate my hand. Right, as my hand moves, I take that big back step. So as the hand separates here, we're backstepping. So even without the sleeve hand here, as we push, I open and I backstep. And notice my hand comes over and down with my hips. As my hips shift, my hand comes over so I can keep that elbow high. All right, the secret to making this backstep Uchimata work is really keeping this elbow above their head so that you can break their posture. So good pressure here. Feel that we're in this back and forth, we're stuck, hand separates, bang, all the way through. Okay? Good? All right, let's give it a shot. Let's go 5 times each. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna add a wrinkle. So I think sometimes you don't get the reaction you want. Right, so we're here. Even if we're pressured in and we're just doing this, as soon as I release, he may have good balance and he may not come forward. Right, so if we're driving into each other and I release and he just sits, well, he didn't go where I wanted, but I do know where he is now. If he's not coming forward, he's probably going backwards. If his feet are arranged like this, then I know that this is the leg of opportunity. So if we're here and we're driving into it and I open thinking, nope, there's nothing, I'm just gonna go to the corner. I'm just gonna go to that back corner, right? So this is another, now you get to play a dilemma game with your opponent where you're here, you drive in really hard, you make them carry you, and then release. If they come forward, we throw. If they sit back, because then we throw the other way, right? So now you get them in a lose-lose situation, right? They have to make a choice, and both one of them is probably pretty bad for them. So as we develop our Uchimata here, from this postured position where I'm pressuring in, if my partner doesn't give me the reaction I'm looking for, if they just let me push them, then we're just gonna use a pushing technique to the back. If I'm pressuring in and they're giving me a lot of feedback, great, right? We know the throw's coming. So now in this drill, I want you to work with your partner, probably 5 times each, and this time, Uke's got a little more say in it. If Uke wants to come forward, pressure, 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 you release, right? Make the throw. If Uke decides that he doesn't want to come forward this time, so we're pressuring, 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 and then I release and he goes, oh, I need to know that I need to go in a different direction, right? And it doesn't have to be kochi. Like in this configuration here, if we're building up pressure, and I separate my hand and he doesn't move, I can go to the outside as well, right? I can go to Osoto. Or if his feet are the other way, like if you're fat, yeah, if we're same side and we're pushing this way, and I can just come back here and go like some sort of modified Tani Otoshi. So there's more than one avenue of approach to go to the pushing versus the pulling techniques. If good pressure, right? So now Uke gets to say, I release, oh, okay, good, bang. And it's probably gonna be a slow decision at first, right? Give yourselves a little grace here. Push in, let the reaction happen, make the process, then make the attack. And then by the 5th one, hopefully we're picking it up a little bit more. And this is something that we'll just continue to work and develop because it's gonna take reaction-based timing games, okay? So let's go start out with 5 and see how we do. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, 100%, yeah. A lot of times you're gonna see that where like you might get them enough pressure to come forward and then they catch themselves and then they start going back. And when they start going back, that's when you need to transition to a different, yeah. That's when you need to transition to a different technique. Yeah. I mean, it's just like we talked about, like when somebody, because you were like, what if I end up like super bent over?
Yeah.
A lot of times you get that pressure like this, and then when you release, they'll just shoot their hips back because they don't want to get pulled forward, right? So we've been here before. Step on the hip, fall, and throw this way, right? And we take Tomo that way. You're like, that's the shape. Get underneath and lift. Yeah. Right. So we have a lot of other techniques, a lot of other tools in the toolbox, but I'm really just trying to focus on the 1v1 right now. So it's like, I just want to see what I want to push, and then the reaction. When I release, if he comes forward, fine, bang, we go here. Okay. If I push, and he doesn't, okay. Right now we go backwards. Right. So it's yes, these combinations would work, right? Like pushing and pulling and then throwing Uchimata or Osoto. But really it's more the development of the concept of feeling my partner's reaction and understanding which way to throw. So if I'm here and we're both very neutral, this is really difficult to throw, right? Because I don't know what his reaction is going to be. It's just perfectly straight, right? So if I want to go for a turn throw and I don't off balance him, I don't have any kuzushi, I just pull in, it's just muscle against muscle. And it's hoping my belt's lower, it's hoping my knees are lower, it's hoping that his shoulder's coming forward, it's hoping he's not leaning back. Like all of these micro wins have to happen before that throw works. If I get him off balance, now he's going backwards, I know I can't go forward, right? Because I'd have to overcome all this. But I do know that backwards is already there. And so I can feel all of those little wins already, and I know that's the right direction. That's really what we're trying to develop. So I pressure in, right? He doesn't want, yeah, see that? He's all good here. Release, bang, and we come through. All right, that's all. That's the timing that we're working on, and that's the speed that we're working on it. So it's like, we're pushing in, I don't know. Oh, okay, bang, right? Right now there can be that like heartbeat that, oh yeah, and then I go backwards, okay? So just keep going a couple more times, just develop that rhythm. Same throw, I have to go on this side this time. Still Uchimata, we're still working on getting our partner to react to us, but now it's gonna be more from something that we see in a Jiu-Jitsu practitioner world, right? In Judo, I preach all the time, good posture, right? We started the class by saying like hips down, chest out, and we wanna bend our knees, right? Nobody in Jiu-Jitsu stands like this. I mean, I do, but that's probably why. Yes, everybody looks like that. And mostly it's because they're either afraid of getting shot on or they're afraid of getting thrown, right? And so you get, especially at like the medium and lower belts, like purple and below, they don't have a lot of stand-up experience, and so they're gonna be real hesitant to bring their hips forward. And so they're very much so in this like hips back, chest over my toes kind of posture. Well, to make Uchimata work, I need to have my hips close to his hip so that I can swing through and throw. So how can I do that if he's purposefully pushing his hips back? Right? A lot of people will try this, and they try Uchimata because there's no back exposure, right? If I turn here and I miss, okay, I miss, he turns around, we both just kind of face each other again, and I tried something, maybe I get an advantage. But if I want to make this takedown work, I get both hands on, and as a note, like I will change my posture from like standard judo here. I'll play here because I need to be at his level or even a little bit below. If I stand straight up like this and he assumes a jiu-jitsu posture, it's really easy for him to just shoot on my legs. Right? Now we did go over how to defeat the single, so maybe that's not so bad now, right? We can just come here and fight off of the single and throw Uchimata. But in the meantime, if he lowers his level and I've got good contact, I'm gonna lower my level because I don't want to give him that advantage where he's just open shot to my legs. So we're in the same place. I want to start pushing in. He's gonna make that decision to push to me. Now this time, I want to encourage him to come forward. I know that because his hips are back and his weight's back, if I release this pressure, he's probably not gonna go anywhere. If anything, he's gonna like sink farther, which might encourage him to pull guard, which is not what I want, because I want the throw. So I'm gonna pressure in. When I feel him pushing nice and hard, I take a step, I pull, my elbow's already up, right? To clear it out of the way, to get him close. My elbow came up. All I do now is back step. Here, push. And he goes right over. All right, so now again, we're in that push, pull, kuzushi, off balancing, where we are taking advantage of my posture and my partner's bad posture. So we've collected all of our grips, right? We've gone over how to do that. He lowers in, he sinks into his base, I match his base. We start driving into each other. I feel pressure, I just step and pull. As I step, I capitalize on the fact that he's coming forward, so my pull's not super strong. I pull forward, back step, leg up, throw him over to the side. Pretty simple. And hard to defeat, right? Once you get him moving like that, he's already going, and you can just throw him off your hip, okay? So one more here. We're in this good, yeah, boom, step, yeah. Right over the side. Sweet. Questions? Pretty easy on this one, I think. It's a lot of fun. All right, let's go 5 times each. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Take it. I'm building in natural commercial breaks for when I get sponsored. Somebody sponsor me.
When you have graduation, we'll remember that. We don't have Saturday morning.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Judo for BJJ. So we kind of talked about it already, but I'll put a little more formality to it. A lot of times from here, when we're in that position and we've got the pressure and we're building up and we don't know where we're gonna go with it, one thing we can also do is we can throw in a fake or a feint. And so a lot of times if you throw in the tomonage fake, you come here, the weight goes on the toes, now they're coming in. And now they're here, back step, and we're right back to Uchimata. So it's a really easy fake, it doesn't cost you a whole bunch. And I know that like Coach Jeremy talks about throwing the feint and then going for the ankle pick. He likes to do this because it gets people to freeze in place. If you go for tomonage and you pull, right? My foot comes up and I pull them into me, they're gonna do that where they try to stop themselves, their hips go backwards, but their weight comes forward on the toes. Once their weight's forward and their nose is over their toes, we just back step, punch it into the air, and we throw the Uchimata. So now we can throw in fake forward techniques to get that reaction. So we've kind of progressed from learning about kuzushi in this like pyramid position where we both kind of fall down, to now we're using our grips to get a reaction, to now we're using takedowns to get a reaction. So we've kind of elevated our class of getting the kuzushi. So now our kuzushi can come from pushing and he's gonna react by pushing into me. It can be pulling and then, and they sit back and then we come forward. And now we're adding, now we add a fake and then we throw, okay? So we've kind of already been doing that. We've been using that with this like check valve, I call it. Like we come here, step, we throw a fake sasai just to get them to move. Now, if we just do it all in relation to Uchimata. So we're here, we've got that pressure, we're all pushing against each other. I can just throw it. His reaction gives me this position, this posture. Elbow up, step, spin, throw. So it's just one more level to get in the kuzushi, that's all. Questions? All right, we'll just add that into the mix. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Big movements get big reactions to make easy throws. I had to say it twice, I don't forget it. Yeah. Right, because we were just discussing like if you get big movements, right? Especially like when you're in a match and you have limited space, right? Because you can't run out of bounds. So they're gonna have to react to it. So a lot of times you'll get people that will just, if he pushes really hard into me, like he wants me to move, right? He might get a couple steps, but then I'm gonna start pushing back. When I start, when I start pushing back, this is your time to backstep and throw Uchimata, right? And then if you go with somebody who's a little more experienced, they'll start moving in circles. So now as he pushes me, I'm gonna come this way. Now look where his head is, right? Over his toes, bang, I backstep and I score Uchimata. So I say that because you can do that too. So when you push somebody, when they push into you, just circle out of the way and throw them. So big movements, right? Get big reactions, make for easy throws. Whoa, very nice. Good motion. Good motion. And then just so you know, right, because we're like kind of at the end here, so I'll just do something to throw it in there. When you get these reactions, make sure that you know where your out is. So as we push in, eventually he's going to run out of room and he's going to start pushing back. When he pushes back, we have to understand which way the door is, right? Like if I go this way and then I try to spin out this way, I'm just going to bring him towards me. It's not going to work out very well. So if I can feel where the empty space is, that's where I can fill, all right? And then if we get in these pushing battles where he's, so keep that in mind, right? We've talked about forward and back. We've talked about getting reactions, and then we've talked about making them give us reactions. So I push hard into them so that they will come back, and then I can throw. Right? So keep those things in mind, especially when you're grip fighting with other people. Try them out on unsuspecting victims, and then we'll see you guys next time, okay? All right, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks. Big. Here.
Yeah, just
Push.
get the big reaction.
Yeah, push. So if you were to do it to me, right? Push. Yes, yes. Because I'm going to eventually have to stop. And then I'm going to come forward, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where, for you, as a more experienced stand-up player now, circles.
On it.
Yes. So when you push me big, right? Push big, like just push me, I'm going to circle. I'm not going to let you just run me, right? Because I know what I'm doing. So when that happens, now we have to worry about the back and forth. So if I push you, yes, get out of my way and circle. Now look where I am. I'm way over my toes. Then, yeah. Perfect. Look at you. Look at you.
See,
That's it, man. Right?
Yeah.
Big movements give you big reactions to let you get easy throws. Ooh, that's the title of the video.